Hello and welcome back everyone. Thanks for joining me. Now, it's a beautiful New England day here today. It's raining. Mother Nature is going to be making things interesting when it comes to cleaning up all these leaves here. But what we are going to do today, it's getting that time of year to dig up your dahlia tubers and store them for the winter. So what you need for that is, if they're not in pots, a nice fork, so the dahlia tubers don't get damaged or damaged as least as possible. Then go head downstairs and we'll look over some dahlia tubers so you can see what that is about and store them. All right everyone, we have a dahlia here that we already cut down. I've already found some bad bulbs, but what you want to do is stick your fork in, not right on top of it, but a fair distance away, and just pry up on it a little bit, working yourself around that tuber, freeing any roots and the tubers themselves. Really pick up on it, and I'm going to grab the stalk here. Ground's a little wet. Look, one tuber came away. And these tubers look all right. Now what I typically do, you can see where that broke off. This tuber isn't any good. You can see where it's kind of eaten here by something. So it doesn't have as much of a protective coating on it. But I'm gonna go ahead and feel the tubers real quick. And doing that, like this one's bad, I can feel it right here. I can find any that may be rotten already, so I know, hey, this tuber bunch has some rotten tubers on it. Now you can go ahead and wash these off if you want to. It's not really necessary unless you have a lot of clay, but it does make it harder to spot the eyes come springtime. We're going to be looking at these dahlia tubers here. This one is Clankstad Kirkade, and it's hard to see here. But you see it's all beaten up, a little rotten. We're actually going to take those off first so they don't affect the other tubers. Now, when you dig up your tubers, brush off any excess dirt. It's okay to leave some dirt on here. If you have something like clay, I would go ahead and wash it off so the tubers themselves don't stay wet and rot. A little bit of dirt won't hurt them, but it will be harder to spot the eyes when you pull them out for spring. Now, you can go ahead and wash them. Just let them dry. Don't leave your tubers out for more than maybe a couple days, because the tubers will dry out and you don't want that. But you also don't want them excessively wet. So we're gonna go ahead. You see these rotten ones here. I'm just gonna snip those off. You could use a good knife. You got two healthy ones right here. This root's a little bit long. We're going ahead and cut that off. And then what you can do, I have these little plastic containers right here. I use wood shavings, a couple inches of shavings on the bottom. I'll put my tuber in there. Make sure the tubers do not touch. And I'll cover it with another 2 to 3 inches of wood shavings. You can use vermiculite, and you can use peat moss, or as I'm doing here, wood shavings. I have wrapped dahlia tubers in paper before, and it has worked with varying successes. So leave a comment down below. Let me know what works for you, because there's so many ways to skin this cat, and anything that could help anyone is always nice. Well, I hope you learned something, everyone, on how to dig up your tubers. Remember to use a fork, dust off all the dirt, or rinse it off if you prefer, and then let it dry for a couple days. Try not to go longer than a week, because your tubers will dry out. Then get a plastic tote. I got mine from Target. It's about 6 inches deep, 12 inches long. And you can use wood chips, vermiculite, what else am I thinking here? Peat moss, Lay down 2 to 3 inches on the bottom. Put your tubers inside and make sure they don't touch. Then put another layer over and then store them for the spring. So until next time, everyone, bye-bye.